Hey, good morning, everyone out there. I'm going to try to help some people out there maybe. And I had an issue over the weekend on my houseboat. And we had the generator running at night and started smelling something. And it smelled like, smelled something burning, but I didn't know what it was. So I came down and didn't appear hot. It was, seemed to be pumping good. So, but there was a noticeable like squeal every once in a while. It sounded like a bearing squeal. And so, and doing research before, I was thinking, holy cow, it sounded like it was right between the generator and the engine. I'm thinking some kind of bearing. Also thought it might have been a hydraulic pump over there. Got on Google University, and first thing I did was punch in Westerbeke Generator squealing, and someone had the exact same problem. And what he said was, it was this, essentially he called Westerbeke after the marina told him his generator was going bad. And they were going to tell him, well, maybe you have to change the generator, because they didn't know what was wrong with it. But not everybody knows everything, and that's what we're here for. But I'll get down here and show you what he says is the problem, and then we'll talk about it. I'm going to take it out. It says to clean this, in my book, it says this air screen flame arrestor, and it has a snap ring. This is the problem. That snap ring goes, the screen is under here, if you can see that. There's a snap ring. Problem with that, I tried using my old snap ring pliers, and just to angle the dangle in it, I couldn't get it in there. So I bought these new snap ring pliers here, and we'll see if they work. And I got to get up underneath there, and I'm going to pop this out, and we'll continue this later. So I'm back. I got this out. This is what was stuck up in there. I think it's supposed to be clear, but I'm not seeing where I think it's clogged up. I'm going to tear it apart. Oh yeah, there's a little bit. You see a little bit, but it's pretty well plugged. So we're going to see if this is our source of our problem of making a squealing noise. Anyway, that was underneath the there's a screen in there. There's supposed to be a paper filter in there, so more to come. So I'm back. Here's what I got when I pulled it apart. You have that screen in the rubber. You pry the rubber back, and then this is like this really tart screen. You know, it's like it's metal, but that is plugged. I'm pretty sure that was my problem, and we're going to clean that, and we're going to come back. But oh, by the way, I had to use this little dental tool to pop that seal out. It just didn't fall out of that hole. That's just a more device, and then here's the snap ring pliers that I used. So tools that are needed for this job. Not hard, but yeah. I'll go clean this and we'll be back. All right, we're back. The filter I got out that was black and sooty is now cleaned, and I'll try to get this up in the light, in the sunlight. Now you can actually see through it, whereas before you could not see through that. So, and it isn't some people said it was a paper filter in there. It's actually not. It's a really fine stainless mesh. And all I used was carb cleaner. These things come apart. You just take this O-ring loose, peel it back, and there's 3 of these screens right here. And there's one fine mesh one in the middle. And you just separate them all, don't lose them, and clean them all. And then you pop them back in this rubber piece. And then we're gonna put it back up into that hole, and I'll put the circlip in. So anyway, that's that, and we'll start it up here in a little bit, and we'll get back to you. And we're back. The clip went in fairly easy this time. What I did was I angled it more out in this direction towards the starboard of my boat, or towards the front of the generator, I should say, because before it was back here, and I had a difficult time getting any angle with stuff in the way and getting up in there. This was a little bit better. And so the clip's up in there, the screen's up in there, and now we're gonna start it. Let's see if we squeal. Let's see if I'm clear. Clear. Just like squeal. No load on it, but anyway, that's it. Put that in your maintenance program. That scared the heck out of me, but that thing was like that. But apparently it's not that bad. I'm going to put the cover back on because I actually changed the pump impeller, thinking that's what would always be squirreling in the belt. Like everyone else, it just wasn't it. Here it is. That's it. Take care. So we're back again. I had that screen, I had this squealing out of the generator, and I changed that screen. I had that in the other video, but when I had it running, if you noticed, it didn't sound right. So I was thinking something's wrong. I thought maybe I did something wrong, but it's just a screen. But then I thought, well, maybe the plugs are. But look at these plugs. Woo-wee. So I'm gonna change them. They must have been all just choking up and trying to run. I'm amazed it even ran. But more to come. Luckily, I have some new plugs laying there. Good thing to have spares. Okay, I'm coming back now. The plugs are changed. This one's way better. And I think they actually had the wrong plug in, so more to come on that. Hello guys, in closing, what you just saw was the 22.5 kilowatt gas-powered Westerbeke generator. Little history, brief history. This thing was not running good. We were at a beach. It was, I heard someone say they smelt something smelled like rubber burning or something like that. Of course, we had a few cocktails. This was late at night when this happened, of course, and we went down there, and I was down there thinking maybe I had an impeller issue, that it was overheating, so we shut the generator off for the evening. The next morning I woke up and of course, without thinking, I had this squealing sound. I mean, it was like this, I thought it was a belt or something like that, but it didn't sound like the belts because it was between the engine and the generator, right? It sounded like it was coming from right there. And of course I pulled the impeller. Nothing was wrong with the impeller. It had good water flow. Put all that back together, and then we took it back and put it in the slip. And then I started really doing some troubleshooting, and I used YouTube University, and all I did was punch in Westerbeke and thank whoever that was out there. I don't know who you are, but hi, thank you. And he explained it pretty clear, so that's where I went after, and that's what you see, that screen for the, and this is an EFI. It won't pertain to a gas. I was reading about it. A regular carbureted one, probably would have not ran, whereas the EFI tries to run no matter what. Anyway, took the screens out, as you see in the video. That thing was 90% plugged up, cleaned it up, put it back in, it ran good. But if you notice, it was running rough, and I was like, wow, that thing's really running rough. And I looked, and when I pulled those plugs, they were really bad. And I think part of it was part of that screen. Changed all the plugs, and actually the plugs were they didn't seem like correct plugs, and they were changed just a couple years ago. So I'm sure they didn't clean the screen. I have no idea when the screen was cleaned last, but put it on your maintenance item to clean those. Check that screen and clean it. Even if you had to blast a little bit of carb cleaner in there, it would do immense, probably help you out a lot. But it's not that hard. Get good snap ring pliers, pop it out, clean it, put it back together, change the plugs. I changed all the oil plugs. Now I had an impeller. I ran this for over 200 hours last summer, and everything ran like a top. And so, hopefully I can help you with any questions you have. Take care.